everybody, it's Bethany and welcome to Saturday Knit Live. This is another version of Bethany needs to sort through her stuff, to say it nicely. I have so many notions and needles out of place and things that I'm not using that I'm going to try in this video to just get them all contained. This doesn't include current project bags or anything that may be in my purse. Luckily, my purse stuff is contained. I keep it in this container right here from Hobie, and I will link that down below. This is my current Notions on the go container, but I have just everywhere in my office, just stuff. And so over the next several months, I am hoping to, by the end of the year, get everything kind of contained between my closet and the corner back here. That is going to be my, inventory corner for things that will be listed on my website, as well as getting my desk to a point where it's a lot easier to reach things without having to dig through things and reorder things. And anyway, that is what today's video is. Just wanted to let you know, so I hope that you enjoy that. Hi. So this is what we're working with. I need to go through all of my notions and get them all fixed up and put away and get rid of doubles and all kinds of craziness. I'm filming this at night. I'll try to get a bit more light going on here, but just bear with me. Okay, so I think that's better. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of tidy up a little bit. Like, these are projects. They don't need to be in with the notions. So I'm just going to set those aside. I already know what's happening with these things, so let's just do that really quick and get them off the desk. And I'm sorry for any squeaking that's happening. There's a soft spot under my feet here on the floor. So I'm not going to be super duper particular about how these go in. I'll deal with them as far as the order goes later. I just want to get them out of the smaller bins and into the cohesive one. So the name of the game here is we are using what we have. These I'm just going to put in here with the hardware that they go with, and that is done. I don't even use this anymore. As you can see, it's just hanging onto some buttons and some stitch markers. So I don't need this, and I'm going to be giving this away to a new home because I never use it. Same goes for this. This used to, back when I was just knitting small things like hats and socks, this is where I kept my scraps, and now I just have a larger bag that they're in. I'm not using this. I love Garrett's popcorn, and I love the color, but it's extra stuff that I don't need. It's not serving a purpose. Stitch markers in here too. This is going to be a trend. Now this I'm holding on to because this was a gift. So I will find a purpose for that, just not right this minute. This, I started sorting out my stitch markers. What I did for my light bulb stitch markers was I had a bunch of these really big, oh, I'm not even on camera, these really big safety pins, and I just grouped them by color. So that's what started in here. Gonna set that aside. Oh, I'm not even halfway through and I'm already overwhelmed. I'm gonna bring us closer so that we can actually see what is happening. Just adjust a little bit. Okay. What is in here? Okay, so here goes my ADHD, put it in a pile and forget about it method. These are 8-sided dice that I was using for a project that need to go back with my dice. And some charms that I need to actually fix from a gift that I was given. So this, for later. This goes in the trash. These stitch markers were my mother-in-law's, and I will be dealing with these later because I'm not equipped right now. So we're going to put that away. More stitch markers. We got some light bulbs. And we got some hexies. Okay, cool. Lots of stitch markers and a tin for them that I will probably hold on to stick in one of my project bags. We're just going to set that aside for now. Might as well get these out of the packaging because the packaging is taking up some room. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Some stickers. Those go way over here. Okay. Tape measure. That needs to go on the wall. These go over here. My supplies. More stitch holders. Stitch markers. And a stitch saver. Okay, that's another bin empty. I'm just kind of piling all the needles off to the side here. While I deal with stitch marker stuff. Bethany, why do you not put things away? Well, Bethany, because I'm too excited to do the next project. This really needed done. Just cleaned my office / craft room, and this was the logical next step. I got most of them out. I like to switch the cases that I carry around my everyday tools in. Right now I'm using one from Hobie. I will be going back to this at some point, so I'm just going to set this aside. That is staying. I'm going to keep that. I'm not going to open this right now because these will be going on more of these safety pins to sort these out. So I'm just going to set this aside. More needles. Oh, more needles. And apparently I was making some notes for a project. I have a stitch marker here. More stitch markers. Darning needles. More notes. And a scale that does not give me to the decimal point for units, so I'm going to be getting rid of this. Okay, onto this basket. Okay, these are buttons. custom buttons. I think these would go really well in here. These are for a temperature blanket that I will one day hopefully do. So those have a home now, and I'll make sure I label those. This is a little notions pouch. There's a needle. And I don't ever use it, so I think I'm going to destash this. What is in here? See, I put things in bags and then I never know what they are. Oh, so this is actually needs to go with the project that it goes with. Okay. I don't use these at all. I used to when I made a ton of socks. So I think I'm going to destash these, but I'm going to keep a couple of them. I really like these two. Not that I don't like these ones, but I really like these two. So I think I will keep 2 and I will get rid of 3. So that's okay with me. This is an old foot pattern, so that is going to go in the trash. I have more of these, so I'm going to be getting rid of these. And I would like to invest in a better Nitty Knotty, so I'm going to be getting rid of this one as well. So there is an empty bin. This actually my cousin made for me. Isn't it cute? I love it. Don't know what's going to go in here yet, but I'm just going to set it aside. Okay, I'll throw this foot away. Okay, another notions pouch. This is why we need to do this. This is empty. Okay, set that aside. Needle gauge, pencils and pens can go in with the actual pencils and pens. One of the tips I like to do, I like to keep a chapstick in every one of my bags. So I've got one in my work bag, one in my notions bag. So whenever I unpack them, there's always like extra chapsticks. I'm going to put these needles away before I forget about it. This needle case, by the way, is from Hobie. I'm not sponsored, but I like that I can see through it, kind of. I can see how many are in there. And it's got a nice little pink top. Okay, we're going to scoot these things. Because right now we're just in the clean out phase. Let me introduce you to the thing that I really need to sort through. Well, let's go through the top. So we've got a bunch of these empty containers that I'm not sure. Oh, that's a stitch marker or a progress keeper. Anyway, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them or not. This does not work on me, this acupressure ring. My fingers swell while I'm knitting, and so I'm going to get rid of that. I haven't tried this yet. But it was only $1, so I'm going to hold on to it. These need to go with my buttons, which are in the closet with all my sewing things. I never use this, so it can find a new home. So can this badge reel. And I never knit anything chunky, so these try-on tubes that are super chunky can find a new home too. This is actually, I do use this, so this can stay. And these thimbles are too big for my fingers. This was another notions thing. We have a candy shop near us called Sweets and Geeks. And they sell candy from all over the place. These are Japanese Skittles. And I ate them. And yeah, I kept the container. I think this was one of the first things I ever bought from Katrinkles. And when she sent it to me, this was like a test she did to see if it would cut my name right. And the background was just too busy. So she sent it to me anyway, and it doesn't have like thing on the back, but I know she said she sells the extra backing bits, so I might order one for this so it's actually useful. It has a use. Binder clip doesn't go in here. Okay, this can all stay, and I'm going to put back my needle gauges, sock guys. I think that's all I'm going to put back in there for right now, because that's really all that goes in there right now. All right, so the front of this, move all these containers out of the way. The front of this opens and it has 4 drawers. One of them is already out. It holds my labels. So we're just going to go through these 3 remaining drawers and put things away, and also get rid of things we don't use. All right, so I don't use these, and someone may, so this is going to find a new home. I also don't use, this was my wrapping tool for when I first got into pegloom knitting, but I don't do that anymore, so it's actually just a broken pen. And I used these as cable needles for a while because they're bent. So those, and these ones, the cable came off of them, but I don't really use those anymore, so those can go. These are going to go in the trash though, because I don't think anybody wants my cast off needles. I hold on to these even though I don't use them, because I don't like they're really pointy. Here they are. See that? I don't like darning with those or weaving in my ends with those. But some people do. So, I don't know. I haven't gotten rid of them because sometimes I will take an extra one with me to like a guild meeting or something, and someone could use it. So I'll hold on to them. I do love these though, these stitch keepers. I got a bunch of these on the Yarn Discovery Tour in Ohio. It's the Northeast Ohio Yarn Tour. I got a lot of these at one of the local shops. And then these are end caps for my knit picks, needles, as well as millimeter and number tags for when you take the needles off. And then these are for my, I think, Knitter's Pride needles. So those can all stay. Those all have a home. Actually, here's a T-pin. That should go in there. Alright, this one right here. I can guarantee you most of this stuff isn't staying. Okay, all these WPI tools should not be in here because these are labels. And I don't use these because I'm rough on my stitch markers. So I'm actually, what I'm going to do is all the stitch markers I'm getting rid of, I'm going to put in to this Garrett's tin. Oh look, I found a purpose for it. And I'll just kind of add them into when I send things to people or something. I don't know what. Because I have a feeling there will be other stitch markers like these that I don't plan to keep either. I'm a little picky about my stitch markers. I don't know that it's for any particular reason. I don't know. But these can live here. I never use these. I bought them because they seemed like something that I would use, but I don't. So I think I'm going to put them back on the ring and put them in the container with the stitch markers. Pardon me as I fiddle with these divider thingamajiggers. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna put these back on here. Now, I've had a few people ask me, because I knit so much on my couch, if you know me, I knit like all day on Saturday and all day on Sunday, and that's how I get my knitting done. If I have to get all of my things out when I go to knit on the couch, and I'll show you kind of what my setup looks like in a little bit for that. Okay, I don't like these either. They're kind of rubbery, so I don't know. I just don't like the texture. I do, however, like these triangle ones, so we're keeping those. If you're interested, there's my stitch marker to go collection so far. I don't think there's any more. There's one more triangle in here. I don't know what it is about these triangle ones. I don't know if it's because they're a fun shape or what, but I like them more. Now, I love light bulb stitch markers, but the problem with the coated ones is that the paint wears off, and then they get snagged on your work. So I'm going to get rid of these ones. I'm keeping them metallic ones because they have been, I don't know what the chemical process is. Anyway, they have been chemically altered to be that color. It's not a coating. So I've never had an issue with those ones. Let's get rid of stuff we don't use. Because we grow as crafters and sometimes accumulate a lot of things that we don't use. Anyway, next pocket. Okay, so when I used to knit shawls in the very beginning, I loved these wire ones. Because I was using bigger needles and these were nice. The problem is now I use tiny needles and they don't slip as well for me. So I'm going to keep a couple of them for bigger projects. I really like these little rainbow bead ones, but I think the rest of these are going to go. Even, unfortunately, the TARDIS one, because it's got this lobster claw on it, it kind of gets in the way. So I'm going to keep, oh, this ladybug, I'll keep the ladybug too. So, that one's got a lobster claw on it. I don't like the lobster claw stitch markers because I go a long time without getting my nails done, and they're hard to grip. Let me just say it, I'm being vain, they're hard to grip with my long nails. So I do like the lever back ones, but I like more fun ones. These are ones that I kind of was given when I bought yarns and things like that. Some of them are heavy. So I never see myself gravitating towards them, so I'm going to rehome these. There's my bit so far. And I used to make stitch markers back in the day. And these are some leftovers from that. I don't use these guys anymore. I don't know, I just don't gravitate towards them. These were the leftovers ones that I just didn't sell. So I'll just go in there. I think these are mostly ring stitch markers, but they're big and they're heavy. So it's not like I could use them for progress markers, and I don't want them being so long that they get stuck on my knitting. So these are going to find a new home. Except for this lamb. That one's cute. I'm keeping that one. Not that the other ones aren't, but anyway. I'm going to go through. These ones, again, I think were just a bit heavy. These are ring stitch markers. They're a bit long and dangly, and they were getting caught on my knitting. So just not using them. I tend to move my stitches very quickly, and especially with knitting Continental, that's why I'm so picky. And then these all are lobster claws, so I know these are going. I don't use progress markers or progress keepers very often, and when I do, it's almost always a lightning, a light bulb stitch marker, just because they're flat and they don't really get in my way. Okay. And now that we've cleaned that out, let's keep going. We're going to set this aside. And I've got a bowl of stuff. More stitch markers. Gee whiz, Bethany. What are you doing with your life? These guys I love. These are from Lemonade Shop, and they're super tiny and great for when I'm knitting muscle burrows, especially at the gym, because they just slip seamlessly onto my needles. So those are staying, as are these, which are about the same size. Love those. Great for hats. Okay, what else do we have? We have try-on tubing, which I'm keeping. Buttons, which need to go with the buttons. In case you didn't know what my name was, if you follow me on Instagram, you do. This is thicker try-on tubing. It's not blue, it's green. It's bigger than I would ever use. So this is gonna find a new home. And this is where the buttons actually go. So the buttons are gonna go in here. This bowl actually, I can't remember which one is which. My mom painted one and my sister painted the other. So they are, they look like knitting, and then they're speckled on the inside, and then one of them did the mug that I keep my pens in on my desk. So there's kind of like it was a Christmas present matching stuff for me. Stick my other buttons in there. Okay, so since we are in the purging stage, I got rid of one yarn ball holder already. I don't really do yarn bowls, but I have two of these. They were 3D printed. I can't remember the company that does it. This was the first one I ordered. It was a bee and hearts, and then this was the second one, and they were experimenting with new colors and new designs, and I gravitate more towards this one because it's more my colors. So this is just an extra one. But I'm going to keep this one. This one's going to find a new home. Okay, so I found a few more stitch markers lying around. I kind of sort these out. Ones I'm keeping, ones I'm not. I am keeping this because it's cute. There are just some I just cannot get rid of, and that's okay. This is my needle pouch, and there's a couple of yarn ball sweaters, I've got just about everything in here and it's just messy. So I'll clean that up too. These are the things I keep in there for on the go, but I don't really take this on the go anymore, so I think I'm going to take those out. Oh look, a chapstick. More cords. Again, like I said, I don't really take this on the go, so I'm hoping to just hold my needles in here. So I'd like to get the rest of this stuff out. These are the cable needles I'm keeping. I'm going to get rid of these. I don't like, these aren't very flexible. They aren't as flexible as I thought they were, so these will go to a new home. I'm just going to stick them in there with the stitch markers. Apparently I have a hair tie in there too. So the only thing that's going back in here are my crochet yarn guys, make one left and right, and my, whoops, Kitchener stitch yarn bowl winder. These I'm going to be using to sort my cables in a minute. These are going to go elsewhere. And I'm going to be putting these, I think, in the top of my toolbox. So set that aside. And let's make the rest of these. Okay, so I got all these done. I did it off screen because I kept dropping them and no one wants to see me fumble with stitch markers for 20 minutes. So I'm going to empty these out real quick and then we're going to move on to the needles. Okay, so I'm going to try to put all of my needles from my last several projects away. I've got fixed here, and I've got interchangeable, along with all the cords and accessories and things that go with them. So my needles go into two separate pouches. This one is for all of my fixed pouches. I bought it from, I believe it was Hobie. I start them at 0, and double zero and then go all the way back from there. I do have a couple of pairs of double points in here. So I'm just, and then I have my ChiaoGoo T-pins and then the rubber grippers. These actually go in here. And I'm holding my end pieces and my connectors in this little container. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate out the fixed and the circulars, because there are also, some of these cords are smalls and some are larges. This lovely pouch that matches my needle case holds smalls in the front and larges in the back. So let me get these sorted, put all the tips together, make sure, oh, that's that one I just used. Okay, put all the cords together. That's fixed, 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 obviously fixed. Fixed cords. Okay, so I got all those sorted. Now I'm just going to kind of put them in here. They're not in any particular length order. When I need a size, I just kind of grab everything in the pouch and then just kind of go from there. But it does keep them all situated together, so I don't have to dig through a bunch of stuff for the needle that I'm looking for. It's a 5. And I do like that ChiaoGoo stamps their needles, so I don't have to use necessarily a needle gauge. These are 3s. The ones in these cardboard pieces are in their original packaging. I just haven't used yet, and that's why they're still in there. There's no particular reason. I purchased them either when they were on sale or I purchased more than I needed, and they're just still in the package. Maybe for a future project, or didn't actually need that size when I was swatching, whatever it might be. I don't necessarily mind having a few extra needles in my favorite brands. Okay, last one. 4. All right. That is that. And I try to do this pretty often. there's just been a lot going on. So, whatever. Anyway, now they're all tucked in there, ready to go back on the shelf. Now, I need to sort through these cords. The cords, I'm going to stick these in this little cheat sheet into this little pocket inside. And then, okay, ooh, I'm gonna put my needles away. I always have twos right there, so I kind of just go from there. 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7. Looks like some of my other needles are in other projects. I'm not going to hunt those down right now. So we're just going to leave it like this. And there it is. I hope that you enjoyed that. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this cleaning / organizing journey. I am so happy with the outcome of my tools. I'm going to tweak them a bit, color coordinate them, be a little bit more fussy about it, but they are generally in the places where where I'm planning to let them live. I'm going to kind of see if this system works for me or if they need any kind of changes, just like I did with my yarn organization. Obviously, things are going to grow with me as I change and as my day-to-day projects change. But right now, I think this is a really great place to be. And thank you again for watching.